As an ex-advertising professional, he's a sought-after public speaker and has delivered lectures on creative thinking and innovation in top global universities. He has produced some outstanding, most pressing socio-political issues of our time. His film, Buddha in a Traffic Jam, exposed the nexus between radical leftists and Naxal, media, NGOs, academia. Despite facing extreme resistance, he went on to show his film across India, defying attempts to curtail his freedom of speech. His latest film, The Kashmir Files, based on the genocide of Kashmiri Hindus in 1990, became the biggest super hit, breaking all the records at the box office. His book, Urban Naxal, became the fastest selling #1 bestseller and introduced the term Urban Naxals as a legit term accepted by political analysts, media, and the government of India. His second book, Who Killed Shastri, is the first ever book to investigate the mysterious death of independent India's second Prime Minister, Lal Bahadur Shastri. He is an excellent public speaker on Indian civilization and a variety of issues, and has delivered speeches on various prestigious platforms, including TED, Harvard University, Conclave, World Hindu Congress, to name a few. He has also served as chairman of the International Jury of IFFI and on the jury of National Film Awards. Currently, he serves as the director on the CBFC board. He runs the School of Creativity to help you discover their creative consciousness for success, and also run a very popular channel, We Are a TV. He is an avid traveler, columnist, and a social media influencer. Please join me in welcoming the multi-talented Vivek Agnihotri.
Thank you everyone. I didn't know so many things about me. I got to know only when she read it, you know. So biodata always sound better than what you actually are. So don't treat me, I'm nothing of these. Absolutely nothing. I'm just a senior student talking to junior students. Because I'm also learning like you every single day. And I'm learning what it means to be me, and then what it means to be an Indian, and then what it means to be a wonderful, good human being. Let me just begin with a very old story. I was in 7th standard. I used to study in Kendriya Vidyalaya, and the story is from Jabalpur. Jabalpur is a very small town in Madhya Pradesh. And I suffered from some disease, and I was a very nervous kid, very underconfident kid. And one day, because rest of my colleagues, my friends in the class used to tease me, when you are weak, a lot of people tease you. If you stammer, people tease you. If you can't run faster, then they tease you. So weaker people generally are teased by stronger people, and I was one of those weaker people, and everybody used to tease me. I couldn't speak very confidently. I was very nervous. And my teachers also used to make fun of me that you never participate in anything, you never go to annual functions, you don't run, you don't participate in races. So one day, just to prove that yes, I am as good or as confident as everybody else, there was a debating competition, and when teacher was asking who all are going to participate, I said I am going to participate. So they wrote my name in the list, and the final day came. I still remember I was standing on the right side of the stage there, and when my name was announced, I actually started crying. And I refused to go in because I had no confidence, and I didn't even know. I had learned something at home, but I forgot everything. And that's when my principal saw it. And he was sitting in the front. He got up, he came back, he told me, what happened, why aren't you going in? I said, I cannot. because so many senior people, my parents, their friends, the vice chancellors, the chief justice of Jabalpur High Court, all these collectors, all the big people I know, they are sitting there. I cannot, I've forgotten, I don't know what to say. He told me two things, and those two lessons changed my life forever. Number one, he said that, you know the reason why you are going on the stage? Because you know something better than all those people who are sitting there. So you know something which is better. Second thing, if you go there, even if you have forgotten everything, just go and talk about something which you know best. And that's what made me realize, and I want to share this with you, that everybody in this world, every single child who is born is equally talented. Every child is gifted with the same power of imagination. You have got a unique talent. Have you ever seen two thumb impressions which are the same? Is it possible? Is it possible for two people to have exactly the same retina? No. All of us, it's a God's design, all of us are born with a unique impression and unique impression or expression. Suppose you love your mother or your father or your sister the best. If I take a picture of 20,000 people, a huge crowd like this, just by looking at the body language from the back, you can recognize your mother. Can you or can you not? If you go to a wedding, there are 2,000 people, how do you know that's my mother there? Because she has a unique body language, she has a unique expression. So number one, all of you are unique. A lot of people talk about that we are different. We are not different. We are unique. This world also talks about equality, that everybody should become equal. That's a lie, let me tell you, never believe in it. I know a lot of people are not going to like this, but there is no way, is it possible to make a fish and an elephant equal? Is it possible to make two trees equal? Is it possible to make two people equal? You can never be equal, you can be unique, and you become unique by being yourself. So this belief, this self-belief that I am God's unique gift and I am here for a special purpose, I have a special meaning and I must exploit and explore that purpose and express myself to the world, I think that is the only job of a human being. Once I realized that, I also realized that there is no competition between different countries. Is that newspapers and magazines and other people who think they know better than others, they keep telling us this country is number one, this country is number two, this country is number three. Don't believe in all these things. If you know Darwin's theory, that whoever survives the longest is the fittest to live in this world. How many people know this theory? Survival for the fittest? Or a lot of people, which means we are doing well in science department. Darwin said that the human species, or any species for that matter, whoever survives the most is the most powerful species of the world. So what does it mean to be an Indian? I'll tell you what it means to be an Indian according to me, and I'm not a politician, so I'm not going to say all those things which makes everybody feel very, very good, but which are not true. I think to be an Indian means be like Himalayas. What is Himalaya? It's the tallest mountain is the tallest piece of earth. And Himalaya has been created after thousands and thousands years of struggle between the earth and the water. And layer after layer after layer after layer after, we found Himalayas. And it is richest with its minerals, with its forests, with its climate, with its water and rivers. So India is like Himalaya, which has full of knowledge. We are the tallest mountain of knowledge. No other society in the world has been able to create the kind of knowledge which India has created. And no wonder, before India was invaded, about 1400 years ago, till that time, India was known as the knowledge center of the world. And India's knowledge is not restricted to any one discipline. India's knowledge was science. All this numeric system which you see, Indo-Arab system they call it, but it all got exported from here. Whether it's philosophy, do you know where the grammar was created? The grammar which you learn, the science of grammar, it was in India. You watch Netflix and you watch all these plays, you see drama, movies, plays. Where the science of drama was created? In India, Natya Shastra. The science of, today everybody goes to gym, people look after their health. The science of health, where was it invented? In India, right? Yoga. The science of food. Which food is good for you? Which food is bad? This plant does this. When you are sick, your mother says, "Acha, ye kha lo, methi kha lo, dhania kha lo, kala pi lo." Where the science, what to eat and when and how, in how much quantity, where was this science invented? In India, Ayurveda. Ayurveda. The science of law and justice, where was it created? In India. The science of war. If you see every single discipline, this knowledge, because we are the world's most ancient society, it was all created in India. And that's why I think we are full of knowledge and wisdom like Himalayas. And do you know that India is full of world's most diverse forests, where very few countries have the kind of forests we have. So we are full of forests. So to me, to be an Indian is like Indian forests. What are these Indian forests? They are full of diversity. Every tree is different, every plant is different. They come to so many uses for every human being. I think the best thing about India is our diversity. Look at, I can guarantee no four people sitting together are from the same place or speak the same language or believe in the same thing or dress up exactly the same way. Even in your lunch boxes, let's assume if all your mothers decide one day to send you only parantha and aloo ki sabji, the simplest thing, I can guarantee that every aloo ki sabji will be different. It will have something different about it. Some masala will be different, but a hamburger all over the world is the same. This is the difference. This is the diversity. So be like Indian forests, always standing tall, green 24/7, 365 days a year, and despite cyclones and tsunamis and all kinds of heat waves, they survive and they give us oxygen all the time. Third thing to me, being an Indian is like Ganga, the river Ganges as it's called. If you see, in Ganga, so many rivers, nalas, all kinds of pollutions, all kinds of things keep falling into Ganga. When Ganga begins at Gomukh, which is in Himalayas, it's jumping up and down like a small child. What is it doing? It's trying to find its own way, its path, and slowly it cuts across the heavy rocks of the mountain of Himalayas, and it makes its path, comes down, and slowly it starts becoming bigger and bigger and wider and wider and wider. If you go to Calcutta, it's like an ocean. Even in Banaras, it is like you can't see two banks of Ganga. Why? Because it keeps including whatever comes its way, even if Yamuna falls in it, if the other rivers fall in it, in the end, everything becomes Ganga. What does that mean? That our culture, our society is like Ganga. This country has been invaded, so many foreigners came, so many influences came, they kept coming, they are still coming. But in the end, whoever comes here becomes an Indian, becomes a Bharati. He also merges. So many foreigners, people from America, France, Russia come here. And if you see when they live here, they become us. And no wonder, you must have read that Mughals invaded us. They came here with absolutely new faith system, absolutely new belief system, new culture, new dresses, new food habits, everything new. And there were a lot of problem in communicating. This is the only country in the entire world which has created a language for the people who came and started living here. It's called Urdu. Nowhere in the world. Indians live in America, people from Middle East live in America, so many Chinese people live in America, but everybody ends up speaking their own mother tongue. No country in the world has been able to create a unique language for two different people to speak with each other. This kind of middle road approach, this kind of creating a Ganga, you will find only in India. This is something. When people talk about unity, you'll see lots of politicians, lots of people talking about Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, hum sab bhai bhai. It's fine, but the real beauty lies not in talking but in doing, and we have done that. Today you cannot, it's like water and salt or water and sugar. You can't distinguish between which word comes from where. 24, do you know that when you say dil, kamra, darwaja, khidki, these are all Urdu words. Name one country in French, German, Arabic, Japanese, English, anywhere in the world, you'll find the local resident, the native residents using so many words which have come from foreign influence. This is the greatness of this country, and we must recognize this. The fourth idea of what it means to be an Indian comes from my inspiration from our villages. What is a village? If you see Bollywood movies or if you read newspapers, village is a poor place. Yes, it is. Maybe it's not as developed. Maybe it's not as civilized in terms of bridges and malls and cinema halls and shopping centers. But village, as symbol of India, represents a whole lot of things. What is a village? There is no other country where you have villages like Indian villages. Only Indian villages have their own justice system, which is called panchayat. They have their own administrative system. They have their own socio, moralistic and ethical codes. And in a village, they have their own prosper economy, and the entire village lives like one single family. Where else will you find the smallest unit of a society being so independent? Now you would wonder, so what? What's the big deal about it? I'll tell you what's the big deal about it. The big deal is that when the colonizers started invading the world, French, Portuguese, Dutch, British, when they started taking over the world, they went to Australia, Africa, Asia, and with the power of the gun, with the might of the gun and violence, when they started ruling these countries, most of the countries converted into their belief systems. Almost every single country, wherever they went. India is the only country, when we found our independence, In the villages, nobody even was aware or bothered about who came, invaded and who went. And I am not saying it out of any. We made a series called Bharat Ki Baat and we traveled and interviewed lots and lots and lots of people. You won't believe me, this is true. When India got independence, there's this 104-year-old man, India's oldest voter, lives in Himachal Pradesh, about 9-10 hours from Shimla. When we interviewed him, he said our village never bothered about it. We don't care about anything. We are self-sustained people. We don't even care whether who's the president, who's what. We are getting our own water. We have created our own economy, our own society. So what I'm trying to say, in medical science you must have heard, if the cells of your body are strong, then only you are strong. If your cells go wrong, you get cancer. When the smallest unit in any society is prospering, is self-contained, then only a nation can prosper. And no wonder today, when most of the economies are going through recession, most of the world is going through conflict, we are standing tall, and the World Bank and IMF, everybody has predicted that India, the only country which has 0% risk of recession, and we are going to be the fastest economy. And trust me, I'll tell you in the end why we are going to be a superpower soon. So it's the village. Last but not the least, to me, in my mind, India, to be an Indian means to be Shiva. Now Shiva, when I say, I am not talking about the Shiva which you see in temples. I am talking about the Shiva which you see outside the world's #1 quantum physics laboratory called CERN, C-E-R-N, in Switzerland. When you go outside Switzerland, there is a huge statue of Shiva doing his cosmic dance. Can anybody guess why Shiva and why nobody else? Why not Einstein? Can anybody guess? Yes? Yes? No? Tell me.
Sir, it is because he's the Shakti ka ke Bhagwan.
Right, you are close. You are very, very close. It was in India. In India, Shiva is a symbol. Shiva is a metaphor. Only in India, you must have heard about Ved and Upanishad and all these things. Right? Everybody has heard about it. Every Indian is proud of it. And what is the first formula? All these shlok which you hear are actually not pieces of poetry. They are all scientific formulas. The Rishi, the person you call Rishi, they were our scientists. They were called Rishi in our language. The first formula is Aham Brahmasmi. It means I am the cosmos. I am the cosmos. You are the cosmos. That young little child sitting over there is the cosmos. The second one is Tattvamasi, which means you are that. What is you are that? What is that? That God. It's not tangible. You are that means this cosmos. This entire cosmos is you. Which means to be when you translate it, it means that the power of the entire universe or cosmos, whatever you call it, the power of that cosmos is equal to the power of the smallest cell of your body. And therefore, everything is one. This whole thing is one. This cosmos is one. Your cell has the same power. Today, the most modern science, the quantum physics. You have heard of quantum physics? The quantum physics now has come to a conclusion that the smallest particle has exactly the same power as the total cumulative power of the cosmos. It contains the same power. Now science, which denied this theory for so many thousands of years, has come to the same conclusion. Do you know there was a telescope, the world's biggest? What was it called? Can anybody tell me? It starts with H. What? Now the Hubble telescope has been taken out. Now the new telescope has been installed, which is so powerful you can't imagine. It's called Weber's telescope, I think. James, right. And it is sending signals every second about the entire universe, and they have figured out that there is not one universe. There is another universe. One is a visible universe and one is an invisible universe. And the entire thing, the cosmos, has exactly the same power as the power you have in your cell. This theory was invented in India. And that's why I say science. We have always been number one in science, whether it comes to surgery, number system, the quantum physics, in almost calculus. The science of calculus started from here, cutting a big circle into the smallest particles, smallest areas. This all was invented here. But we were told by the invaders and the British education system, because they wanted us to remain underconfident, not believe in ourselves, and that's why they told us, no, it came from somewhere else. Now the world is realizing it. And just to give you an example, I just made a film called The Vaccine War. Recently we had COVID, everybody was locked at home. Then your parents must have taken vaccine. Have you taken vaccine? Anybody has taken vaccine? So very few people, yeah, this side has taken, this side has not taken. So, do you realize that this vaccine is the only, in India which we made Covaxin, is the world's only indigenous vaccine. Nobody in the world so far has been able to make one indigenous vaccine, which means you made it on your own. Without any other country's support or help, we made it in the fastest possible time, in the minimum possible money, and you will be surprised that the scientists who made this vaccine, almost 70 to 80% of those scientists were women. And not the women who just go to office 9 to 5. These were the women who got themselves locked inside the lab for almost 7 months. They would go to their home for 1 or 2 hours in the morning, wash utensils, take care of all the kids, look after their in-laws. If their neighbors were sick, then they would make kadha for them. And in the lab, if something is going wrong with somebody, go and help them. They were like mothers. I say this was not created by scientists, this was created by our scientist mothers. So in the end, India also means to me Saraswati. We are the only society which worships a goddess of knowledge. Saraswati, because we believe that the society survives only when you have art, music, culture and knowledge. Therefore I see in many houses these days, they worship only Lakshmi and Durga. People have slowly abandoned Saraswati, but as young kids I would request you to tell your parents to also have Saraswati in your house. Okay, in the end, before I end what it means to be an Indian today. Okay, imagine a scenario, let me tell you, if I tell you that the top people today in medical R&D, medical research, the most difficult field of science, medical research and development, the topmost scientists, the brains, are Chinese people. If I tell you the world's biggest information technology and the computer companies are headed by Chinese people. If I tell you that the world's best top banks are today headed by Chinese women. If I tell you that the airline sector, the maximum number of air hostesses are Chinese women. If I tell you the fastest growing billionaires in the world are coming from China, if I tell you the vice president of US is Chinese, if I tell you the prime minister of Britain is Chinese, if I tell you the maximum number of satellites are launched by Chinese people, and so on and on, the world's, the highest tunnel and the highest railway bridges in China, if I tell you the fastest growing infrastructure is in China, won't you feel that China is taken over the world? Isn't it? Isn't it? Now just replace the Chinese word with Indians. This is the fact of today. Be it the banking industry, be it the information technology, be it the education, the world's largest number of teachers, the world's largest number of nurses in humanitarian, the world's largest philanthropic organizations, the infrastructure, science, technology, you name it. Everywhere India is shining, India is taking over the world. And do you know why? Do you know why? It's because of our women and young girls. Gone are the days when we used to say Indian women are behind everybody. Don't go by statistics. You go anywhere in the world, the happiest, most smiling, eager to work all the time, go anywhere in the world, in any country, you will find Indian women are the shining stars of the world. You should be proud of them. And last thing, what it means to be an Indian. Do you know that Indians live everywhere in the world? Almost, there is no country in the world where Indians don't live. Today, what is the biggest problem? Do you agree with me that yes, in the world there is a lot of conflict happening? Yes. Do you agree with me that the biggest problem of the world is trust deficit? Yes. Countries don't trust each other, people don't trust each other. Yes. The biggest problem is trust, which means the rarest of the rarest quality, human quality, which is absent in the world today is trust. So if you find trust, it's like you found a diamond, like oil. So Indians live everywhere in the world, but if you travel all across the world, ask anybody in any country, go to China, ask them, go to Africa, ask them, go to Japan, ask them, go to US, you ask them, who are the people, which nationality, which ethnic group can you trust? They will say Indians. And this is something nobody can dispute in the world. Nobody can dispute. When I went to study in US, Americans used to tell me that if you ever if your car breaks down on a highway late at night, and if you have to take a ride, by doing this, if you take a ride, take a lift, take it from Indians. They will ensure they drop you at home safely. And where does this trust come from? All human beings are same. If all human beings are same, then why is that Indians are the most trusted people? If they were not trusted, why the world's largest corporations will have them as CEOs? Why? Where does it come from? Now think about your parents.
Our value system.
Value system, where does it come from? It doesn't grow on earth. It's not that the media and politicians or religious people are teaching you value system. It's coming from your parents. Indian parents are unique. Think about your mother. Your mother sleeps on the worst cot. She doesn't buy things for herself. She doesn't eat the best food. If you say, Mom, let's go to restaurant, she says, no. She avoids it. Why do they sacrifice so much? So much of sacrifice your mothers and your fathers do. Why? To make you a great human being, so that the world can trust you. And this, I think, is the biggest quality of being an Indian. That you can be trusted in a world where there is a trust deficit, and therefore, to me, to be an Indian means to be like our mothers. And that's why How many countries are in this world? How many can anybody tell me? One person, how many? 246. Okay, so almost 250 countries. India is the only country where it's represented by a goddess called Bharat Mata. This Bharat Mata is not a religious Mata. This Bharat Mata is your mother, and therefore to be an Indian means always surrender yourself in respect and in the service of your mother, be it your own genetic mother or be it your motherland, the great Bharat Mata. That's what being an Indian means to you. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, you said there are Indians in every country, but there is one country without Indians, Vatican City.
Which one?
Vatican City.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Sir,
I've been there. I've seen many Indians living over there. Maybe they are not citizens, because in Vatican City you can't become a citizen. So maybe you are right, but they live there. I've seen so many Indians driving taxis there and running shops over there. So I've met Indians there. Yeah.
Sir?
There's a question in the left side.
Yeah.
Someone is raising their hand.
Yeah, please ask. Anybody, I can't decide that. Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah,
sir.
please ask, yes.
sir,
Hope you can
who
hear.
inspired you?
From the left side.
What's the question?
Hello, sir. Sir, here. Sir, first of all, I hope you can hear me. And sir, your speech was really an eye-opener for me. I really found that the 5 different elements, all connected to our culture and our civilization, were perfectly summed up. Sir, I have one question. Now that we see that multiple Indians are trying to come back to their civilization roots, sir, what is the best way I as an individual or we as a community can come back to our civilization and we can connect to our civilization?
See, like I said, civilization is like Himalaya. It builds layer after layer after layer, and you have to recognize that all the civilizations of the world have perished. Every single civilization, be it Egyptian or Roman or Mongol or Aztec or name it, there is no civilization left in this world except for our own Bharatiya civilization. We are the only surviving civilization. And I think it is very, very important for us, because like you say, why do you preserve Taj Mahal or Qutub Minar or Hampi? Because they are the heritage of this country. They remind us where have we come from. They are the North Stars. Similarly, I think for this world to prosper, it's very important the entire world preserves Indian civilization as the global heritage. These are my thoughts on this.
Thank you so much, sir. Jai Shri Ram. Sir, as a filmmaker, you would like to focus on your craft and your story, and you obviously put in a lot of effort making these films. But a lot of people will then credit your film's success to the controversial nature of your film, and will credit
Left
your...
side.
Sir,
Extreme
here.
right. Left.
So, you obviously put in a lot of hard work in making your film's story and your film's craft, but a lot of people credit your film's success to their controversial nature and why they're so successful. So how would you respond to such criticism, and what would you like to say to these people?
But where is the criticism? Where is the criticism? Controversy is part of life. And what is a controversy? If right now I say that you are not a good man, there is a controversy. If I say you are not a man, there is a controversy. What is a controversy? Somebody to say this is not sun, and 10 people will say, let me check whether it's sun or not. 10 other people will say, oh, maybe it is sun. They start fighting. Then the media invites you and says, okay, tell me whether this is sun or not. Okay, now they are discussing 2 suns. One is saying this is my son, he is saying my son, and they are debating, and the person who is the son has no idea about it. So I am like that. It doesn't matter to me. Controversy is for media to consume. I just do not care about all that. I do my work. I move on. So controversies is sensationalism. So don't care much about them.
Thank you so much, sir. Hi, sir.
Yes, sir.
How much time do you have? The way people are raising their hands, I think it's going to take many hours.
This will be-
Admiral Saab is here, so how many questions?
So we will take 2 more questions.
3 more questions.
All right.
3 quick.
All right.
Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Excuse me.
To your left. Hi, sir.
From the
So,
side.
I want to pursue filmmaking in the future. So, as a successful director, what is something that you wish you knew when you were starting out in an industry that can be called uncertain?
Life is uncertain, so I don't care about that much. But I wish somebody had told me there is no such thing as filmmaker. There is something called storyteller. We have to be a storyteller. You just cannot be a filmmaker. Filmmaker is a technique, and storytelling is gathering of all the ideas and putting them together and telling them so that people understand, and you bring a new dimension, new interpretation to the world. So I wish somebody had told me. I wasted almost 10 years understanding this. I wish if I had known earlier, I would have been a much better storyteller earlier in my life.
Thank you, sir.
2 more questions.
Hi. Good evening. First of all, I'm an actor as of now, and I do some theatre.
आप बैठ जाइए. एक्टरों से बाद में बात करेंगे. बोलो. Sorry. I was just kidding.
Acha. So I was just asking. So, आजकल in this Bollywood industry, it's difficult to succeed as a newcomer to come in, who has no connections to Bollywood or any sorts. So, what advice would you give to such a person who has no contacts in Bollywood and would like to succeed and would like to get small time auditions? Because for people like us, it's tough to get agents also. So, how do you? What advice would you give to someone for that?
My only advice is stop listening to these kind of things. Okay, everybody is a newcomer. If people were not newcomers, how would so many new people come in? Okay, and just people try to see. I'll tell you what. Most of the world gets its confidence by demoralizing others. So what they do is they demoralize. And stop belittling yourself. Don't believe that मेरे जैसे लोगों का क्या होगा. No, I just said right in the beginning, you are unique, you are exceptional, you are gifted with unique talent. Only when you will realize it, only when you will believe in it, then the world is going to believe in it. I told you I was a crying kid standing over there in the aisle. Only when I started believing in myself, in my unique talent, then the world started recognizing it. So you believe in yourself and stop listening to all these things that the world is not welcoming you. World always welcomes. आपने देखा होगा कि छोटा वो जो rocks होते हैं ना, black color के rocks होते हैं. Sometimes you see that a small plant comes out of them. So if the seed is powerful, nothing in this world can stop it from growing. Last question.
Good evening, sir.
Call has been raised. चलो पूछिए चलिए. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, good evening, sir. So I have a question. We always keep believing that we are the inferior ones, that Indians are the inferior
Yeah, I
ones.
can't hear you better.
That Indians are the inferior ones despite us conquering so many fields, being the best at pretty much everything. How do we remove this mindset and why does it stay even after 75 years of independence?
Please repeat your question.
I don't understand the first part of it.
So, sir, his question is that even after conquering so much in India, we still have an inferiority complex, and we feel to believe that the Western world is still far ahead of us even after 75 years of independence. So, how do we as Indians remove this mindset and move forward?
We can talk for hours on this, but I won't get into all this. But now change your language. Okay, the West was ahead of us, not anymore. So that little girl was raising her hand for a long time. So on my request, can we take her question? She has been struggling to ask something. Yes. Quickly, last one, and then we'll close.
So, sir, India has conquered so many fields. India is so great, as you talked about it, and there are so many great people in India. So, still, when people go to foreign countries like the USA, why don't they want to come back to such a great country? Their roots.
Of course, this is right in the beginning. I saw they were talking about brain drain. But do you know that more and more people coming back now? See, we were a poor country. We didn't have so many jobs. there were no opportunities. The only way we could find opportunities was by going outside India. But now it is changing. I know so many young boys and girls. If all of you don't ask me a question, you do something about it. You pledge right now that you won't do that.
Yes, sir, definitely.
You can pledge that?
Yes, sir.
Right, so this is the beginning. If you do it, then more people will do it, they'll get inspired, be successful, and trust me, life is really, really beautiful in India. Trust me on that. And next 10 years, it's going to be very good. Our dream, we were Vishwaguru. I promise you, we will be superpower. By the time you are grown up, you will be living in the world's best country. I promise you that.
So, sir, you mean that the stereotype is changing now over the years?
Yeah, and I think somewhere our schools are also responsible. Schools should also train and teach our children to tell them that yes, you are happier and there are better opportunities here. But then aspiration cannot be going to the West. Do you know how difficult and bad life is in the West? For an Indian, just go and live there, then you will understand. Okay, unless you are Satya Nadella or somebody like that. But most of the people who go there are not in a very comfortable position. But once you go there, you get stuck. And home is home, na. Sari dunia dal chawal acha lagta na end mein. तो आना सब में यही है, don't worry about that. I am very positive. Thank you. Wait. I promise you, I go and address so many students all over India. Tomorrow I am going to Chandigarh addressing people there, then I am going to Shamoli, Shimla. Every day I am traveling. Very rarely I have received such wonderful, beautiful, positive vibes. So 3 cheers for all of you.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your precious time from your busy schedule. I would like to call on stage Gaurav Arora, Senior Director, IIMUN, and Mrs. Rupa Chakraborty, Director, Sun City School, to come up and to felicitate Mr. Vivek Agnihotri for supporting the youth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please give them a huge round of applause.